and welcome to video number 1. Well, we'll call it video number 0, I guess, of the 30 days of painting in Inktober. This is our watercolor tips and tricks series. This is my cat, Hash Brown, who wants to be in the video. Say hello and now say goodbye. Okay, and here is what we need. I want to get into supplies and talk about those. First of all, we've got printables. Second of all, we've got supplies for painting and what you're going to need for the actual process of painting these 30 days. So I think we will start with watercolor supplies and go from there. This is the paint set that I like. It is easy to use. It's got 36 colors. It's lovely. It's got this little, finger holder thing. So like if you're out painting, you can kind of hold it in your hand easily and know it's not going to fall. The colors are vibrant. It's got a good pink. It's got a good teal, and I like it. I will refer to colors in here a little bit as we go, and I'll also refer as if you do not have this, since I know we don't all have the same set. So that's one thing. You're gonna need some kind of water. Usually, like for classes, I just do a mason jar. We fill it up about this full with water. I actually just have like this bucket. It's like 3 compartments, and that's what I use here at my desk. But any container is fine. Don't do it in the coffee mug because you'll accidentally put your paintbrush in there. I like to use some kind of a towel, or you could use paper towel if you prefer. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to need some sort of a brush. I'll link this one and another good one in case they're out of these below. This is a Winsor & Newton size 10 round watercolor brush. It's great because it has the belly of the brush that holds water and the tip of the brush, which is good for small spaces. And I do teach with just one brush, though you're welcome to use whatever you'd like at home. This is the one I'll be using. And okay, a regular pencil and eraser. This is just like school, number 2 pencil, a mechanical pencil, whatever you want. This is a kneaded eraser. See, it's like a fidget. But I like those as well because they don't leave shavings on your paper. They're like $3. They're great. You can find them at any art store, but I'll link that below as well. Any kind of a felt tip pen. This is a regular felt tip pen. Is fine. Don't overthink the pen too much because when we do pen, we'll be doing it last. We're going to be doing it as our final layer. And okay, if you want to have a squirt bottle like this, you can use it. I'll show you, to spray your paints like this, and it makes them even easier to use. Although with this set, you certainly don't need it. It's very easy to use. Okay, the last thing for supplies is a little heat gun. I'm going to link a good one below. So the one I show you right now, do not use. I'm dumb. Okay, I'm not dumb, but I have my heat gun set aside for my classes that I do in person. And so this one is not the right one. It's a giant, this is for your garage. Okay. You'll get burnt. Don't get this one. But this is an example of a heat gun. It's basically like a hair dryer, and you can totally use your old hair dryer and use that as an excuse to get a new hair dryer. So I think that's all the supplies we're gonna need. No, there's one more thing you're gonna have to get for some of our classes, and that is a white crayon. So if you don't want to buy them, maybe just see if you can grab one from someone you know. But a white crayon we'll need for some of our lessons. I do not think there's anything else. So that is your watercolor supplies. I'm going to link all of that so it's easy for you to purchase it ahead of time if you'd like to do so. And if not, just gather what you've got. And then I want to get into our printables for a moment. So I decided it would be fun. Well, first of all, this watercolor tutorial series is about watercolor tips and tricks. So I have come up with 30 different things, either through watercolor or sketching, that have been helpful and important to me as I just became an artist 5 years ago. So this is stuff that I really tuned into, along with tons and tons of practice to get me where I'm at. And I'm always wanting to learn more and paint more. But the first one is going to be, this is the calendar. It's got different just boxes for you to check off when you have painted, when you've participated. So it's just kind of a good way to keep track of which videos you've done. And okay, and so it also tells you share on Facebook at Audrey Shantz Art and use hashtag Audrey's Art Club so you can see each other's work too. So anywhere that you post, if you do that hashtag, that's searchable and you can find each other's artwork, which is super cool. So that's basically all you need for the printable. Then the second one is 3 whole pages. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, and this one's got some extra stuff on the back. But these coincide with each day. So each day we'll be doing our little painting, and then we're gonna learn a tip or a trick or an interesting technique or something. You'll have definitions. And so you'll have this at home, and you can actually cut them and turn them into this little book. The book is it has a little cover page, and that cute, and then it's gonna go through and show you, and we'll talk about each of these things. We'll also be doing a cute little painting. So I'm not just gonna go like, this is how you do it. Swipe, and then we're done. I'm gonna focus on it, and then I'm trying to find a good painting to do that shows us how to do each one of those. So then when we get to the end, I've got a couple of tips in here. You'll get a color wheel, which is really great to have near your space where you like to paint. A value scale, also really helpful. Some tips, and this printout also includes a little instruction booklet telling you how to turn it into, or an instruction page showing you how to turn it into a booklet. You know what I mean? Okay. The supplies you're going to need for the printables are some sort of scissors, or if you've got a cutting board. So scissors, cutting boards right there. We'll show you that in a moment. Some kind of string, yarn, it does not matter. A zip tie, like you can do anything you want. And then like a hole punch, we're going to need that. I think that's it. It should be really simple. So that gets us started. All right, so when you get these printed out, and you can do that, even your local library, I think, has a certain number of free prints you can get if you don't have a printer. But once you've got them, the calendar itself is all set. You can tape that to your wall or whatever you're gonna do. It does have a QR code for YouTube, my YouTube channel, in case it's helpful to you when you wanna get started each time. That one's ready to go. The one that has a little bit of work for you to do, well, you could actually just leave it like this. They're all put together, they're orderly, it's nice. But if you want to cut them, you're going to need scissors. I have a big cutting board, but I thought I should experience this as well. So if you're gonna cut it, I recommend cut off the left side and the right side a little bit first. You can see there's like a little bit extra margin there, and that just was like a safe way to print it so that it wasn't going to cut off just like too much of your paper, so we couldn't get these cute squares. You can cut exactly around the squares if you want, but for me that requires like more cutting than I want. So I am cutting off half of the white space on either of the long sides. And I'm already almost done. I think it'll go quickly, but this is the kind of thing you can certainly, listen to a podcast or turn on TV while you do. I'm just going straight in between. And I like to do it this way first. Like I like to cut the short way first, because that's going to help you stay in order. Because see, 10, 11, 12. Here, I'll do the top one next. But if you go vertically, it's going to just be a little bit more work for you to put them in order. But guess what? I believe in you. You can do it either way. I have 4 teenagers and a 20-year-old right now. And a phrase that I really like to say these days is, I believe in you. It works for a lot of things. Just try it, I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm cutting through here. It's nice and easy. In fact, I don't even feel like I really need to use the paper cutter, but it is a little faster. So for me, write down that white space each time. What you're going to end up with, and we'll start to see it in just a second here, is a pile. I'm going to start turning them over. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Let me do a couple more here, but I'll point out to you that in the top left corner of each of them, you see a little blue dot. That dot is there because that's exactly where you're going to hole punch over the top of. So let me see here. I'm just going to finish this one little page, and you'll get the idea. We could do the whole booklet together, but I would just have to tell you stories. I'm not sure I've got anything important to say that will take us up this whole time. But if you do this and you get it finished, it'll be nice to keep it in your art space. That was a crooked cut, but that's okay. Reminder, we talk about not caring about perfection. We won't care about it here either unless it's fun for you to do it that way. but like my edges are not all perfect. It will be perfect enough because they all have this really great square. And then, let me get in here a little bit. And then I'm going to take my little hole cutter, and as long as I'm lining this up, oops, go between here, it's better. Okay, you can do a couple at a time, but let's try it. We'll try 2 this time. We're just going to cut on these little circles. Yeah, I think I do 2 at a time. I like that better. I printed mine on a little bit of a thicker paper. It's more like a photo paper, but you can do it however you want. I don't know what you've got at home. I don't know that you need to do anything special for it. But once we get all of these done, we're just going to take our string. We're going to tie our string through it. I love keeping, oops, I almost tried from the back. Did you see that? That is a little goofy. I love keeping stuff like this in my art station. In a book I was just reading, they call it your bliss station. But just the space where you like to create. And if you're working on learning watercolor, I think this is going to give you just a really sort of compact way to keep all of this together. Regardless, even if you don't do this, we'll talk about it each day. I'll show it on the screen each day. If you do have a color wheel and a, I'll show it to you. If you've got a color wheel and a value scale, I feel like that's going to be pretty great. For now, I'm going to take all of these. So, okay, so just did it this way. Let's see what I've got here. If you can take something tiny and push it through them, it'll line them up better. See that? And, okay, but I'm out of order here. First, we got to get some string and cut it. I cut mine a little extra long. You can change it if it's too long, but you can't go back from too short. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to take this. I usually put this in my mouth so it stays together. And then we'll lift this up. Go through it like this. So I only have 1 page, so it'll be 3 times as thick as this when you get to it. I like to pull them both through. And I like to tie them together, but you can do it any way that works for you. If you feel like you wanted to be able to take it apart later, you could do it with like a, you know, like how you tie your shoes so that you can just use the loops to pull it. But I've got a little knot, and this will be great because you can flip it. So each day when we're working on something, you can kind of turn it like this. You'll have your little piece of paper. If you want to prep your papers ahead of time, they're going to be 3 inches by 3 inches for me, but they can be anything you want, including a big grid like this kind of that you just paint each thing and they're all kept together. But this is how we'll do it each week. And it's going to be kind of like this. We'll go through the technique, we'll paint together, and then I will love it if you share your artwork on that Facebook page with the Audrey's Art Club as the hashtag. If you have questions on any of this, let me know. I will link below how you can find the links for all of the art supplies and then also for the printables. And I hope you hang out with me. It's going to be a really fun 30 days.